stage. Dr. Sandeep is ready for the general discussions and next steps. And then after, we'll ask Dr. Jacqueline Alatoko to help us with the conclusion. So, Sandeep, you have the floor.
Thank you, Richard. I'll keep it very brief in the interest of time. I think we are running late. The first point that I have made on my notes is the name change for the network. So when and how is it going to happen? So yeah, is it something that we are going to action immediately or something that will take time to do? I think I'll let Kingsley respond.
My idea is that we change it after this meeting. Last year we said we will discuss it, so we cannot say next year we will change it. So we change it, and then we work around to make it work. Yeah, we have to take the first step is to change the name. When you are inviting participants to BU-LABNET meeting from other disease background, crafting even the invitation letter is always tricky, because you start with BU and then you say, okay, we'll discuss this. To make it very easy for all of us and to be able to also attract others, let's consider the name change. Yeah.
Shall we take this as the moment to celebrate the change of name and you announce it officially, sir? Yeah. Okay.
So once the champagne is open,
What is the negotiating?
Is whether the logo also is modified right after the champagne is popped.
That's my second point. We already have the changed logo design now. We would like to present it to the team. Number 4 or Priya.
Yeah, nobody. Nobody telling to call
Yeah.
them.
As Num 4 or Priya will be back, I think we'll move along. The another third. Is it coming? Okay, we'll move on with the third question. Partners' views on the new structure. I think that's an important aspect that we are discussing and wrestling with. What are partners' views on the new structure for the NTD LabNet that we presented? I think I would ask Aniswar to begin, and I'll give my comments as well. Yeah. Thanks.
Well, I think I think that the structure will help us to work better with the satellite laboratories and all of that. We have also to think a little bit more to clarify the roles and the responsibilities of every of the groups, because we have talked about that advisory group and it was not clear also in the structure. And I think we should think also for the new structure, what's the role also of the national programs, or how do we connect with them? Because that was a discussion that came up several times, so we should take into account also that. And for the other things, I think we can keep on trying with this new structure and see what it works and what it doesn't work, and try to develop it better, no? Because it will depend on the laboratories also, on the satellite, and the development of the studies of the diseases, no? So I think that we'll have different, different speeds inside the structure, so we'll have to adjust a little bit, no? But for us, it's okay.
complement to what Marlon said from Aniswad and from the American Lab submissions. As I think I just discussed with Michael, we are seeing 3 layers here. The first layer is the harmonization across different diseases, and each satellite center holding that responsibility. Second one is managing the EQA process and routine distribution of reagents for diagnosis. And the third one is operational aspects of the network with the new satellite centers added. So there's quite a lot of change in the budget that's anticipated. So we'll work through. It's just the beginning, as I see. So as we work through, I think we'll get more clarity. But I think as satellite centers are absorbed into the system, it's also the responsibility of these independent centers to slowly explore for additional resources and funding to support the activities of the network. That's my thinking from the American Lab submission standpoint.
I'd like you to show the 2 logo bars
I think the next point we thought about is the selection process for the satellite centers. We'll have to discuss this thoroughly if there are any comments or thoughts. I think one ideal direction is call for an expression of interest from the WHO side for participation as a satellite center, so that we can just review the status and then see if we can take them in. Any thoughts? Any further thoughts on that?
Just to be clear here, we're making a distinction between an EOI to be the satellite center, i.e. to take on the running of the EQA for a new disease.
Yes.
And I guess that makes sense to run that through a WHO type process. I think also thinking about how you will formalize the mechanism by which new laboratories join the network full stop. So for example, Kemri makes a good case to be a member of the network, but what will be the formal process by which someone will judge whether or not Kemri should join, but not just Kemri, right? A laboratory in Ethiopia, a laboratory in, because for each lab to join, there are technical considerations, there are financial considerations. So it would be lovely to immediately invite 25 new laboratories to be part of the lab network, but then Sarah would have no budget after 1 month. So I think also, so that it is clear and fair and transparent, Kemri applies and is welcomed into the network, but a different laboratory applies and is not welcomed. Like, how is that decision made? So I think it will be really important to have a clear process, not just for becoming the satellite center, but for joining the network as it moves from being a single disease, very clear who should be in, to a multi-disease where almost every country in Africa could probably participate for at least one of these diseases.
No, I think, thank you. We discussed this in parts, but I think how we would like to do this is in phases. The phase 1 would be the satellite centers originally, and then the phase 2 would be the new labs. For the new labs, it will be the satellite center plus the coordinating center setting up the criteria, because I think Dr. Kingsley also mentioned that we need to create the questionnaire and assess the lab's capacity. One thing what we did when we formed this network is we have looked at the ability of the lab to do diagnosis, not just research, but diagnosing cases connected with the program and diagnosing based on qPCR. So there should be infrastructure, there should be capacity, and then we will definitely have a questionnaire before we include them. There was also a suggestion to do an EQA, 1 round of EQA to see if they function optimally before we absorb them into the network. So that's that's the end of my points. Maybe Num4 can present the new logo, and if somebody has any, if members have any questions. Yeah. The one on the right side.
So we proposed two logos. The first one is slightly different from what we are familiar with. The second one is more or less similar to what we already know, just that we changed from BU-LABNET to Skin Entity LABNET, and also instead of a similar instead of the circles in the African map having similar colors, we decided to do different colors to indicate that we are integrating more than one disease. And so here we are. Before I actually present Kingsley's proposal, slightly changing the colors, maybe which we can just quickly choose the logo we would want to adapt for the new network. This is 1, and that's 2. Oh, so we are going by voting. Okay. How many people go for the first logo? 1.
Excuse me, Numfor, I would like to propose something. The map of Africa is not complete in the first one. The south of Africa and Madagascar population won't be happy about it. Sorry.
Thank you very much for that feedback. Okay, so we can go ahead with the vote. The first logo, how many people go for it? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 9. So 9 persons vote for logo 1. How many persons vote for logo 2? No need counting. So all right. So so we are going for logo 2. It's just a proposal. We would try to fine-tune the logo to change some colors, especially the oval, and then this curve we are proposing to change from blue to another color. And then if there's any other proposal for modification, then we are open to that. Because at the end of the day, we are going to send to an expert to develop the final logos, different sizes, of course. Yes, Priya?
If the map of Africa is improved in logo 1, I think the DNAs and the whole logo is beautiful. Maybe I'll change my vote from logo 2 to logo 1, only if the map is modified.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to take comments for logo 1, given that we voted for logo 2. Well, I'm happy to do that one-on-one. Yes.
Yeah, logo 1 lost the election. It cannot.
Please, can you shift this? Yes.
I propose for logo 2 to add the DNA on it.
Okay. Like where? Here? No, it's a proposal. We can't say no. Yes, we have to take all the comments and then we would take a decision. But it's PCR, so it could make sense. Please, one person at a time.
What if the network evolves maybe in a few years to something different to DNA technologies?
We will change the logo.
Again,
Thank you for that comment, Israel. That's noted anyway. Yes, Prof. Hal.
For this nice logo. I don't think the lab will concentrate only on the molecular diagnosis. We have another tools of diagnosis in the lab. The histology, the cytology, okay? And all these can be a very useful tool to diagnose whatever you want to diagnose. So you don't include yourself in one type of diagnosis. Let us go for other diagnoses, and that will help us a lot in the future. It may be very simple to have in a lab with no facility histology. I'm glad to say one of my students now, through artificial intelligence, she created an application so you can put your histology slide and you can have the diagnosis without the need of histopathologist. So this is what you can do in the future. So I think let us be open and include other diagnostic tools in our armamentarium. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Farah. That is well noted. Do we have any more feedback on the logo? Priya, please. Yes, go ahead.
As a new African, I consider myself African now. As a new African, I don't see the representation of lab on the logo. So I would like to see something that represents lab. If I see as an outsider, it's just like when I think of diagnosis, I think of microscopes for some reason, or the DNA that was there. Just a suggestion, and when I get the mic, I speak.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because of this, we are going to deny you citizenship of Africa.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I had looked at this. I had proposed to NUMFO that we'll change the color so that it doesn't blend with the old. Yeah, so I had proposed the color change for him to the designer, and I hope that we can see the new one and compare to this. But definitely, it has to move away from the blue, otherwise those of us who cannot distinguish between things by color will find it difficult to see the change. Yeah.
Thank you. One last thing before I drop the mic. I was wondering if we need to add S, the skin entities, or that's fine. I mean, is that necessary? Okay. Well, I was asking if we need to say skin entities LABNET, or it's okay like that. Okay, great. All right, thank you very much for your vote.
Democracy, huh? By the people, for the people, etc.
Yeah, that concludes the general discussion. Over to Professor Richard Phillips.
Very much. At least now we have a logo and we have skin entity LABNET. We'll go on quickly to have the conclusions for day 2. Dr. Jacqueline Alatoko will do that for us. Kindly do that for us, please.
Si, je vais faire cette conclusion en français. Donc, je prierai l'interprète de se préparer pour cet exercice. Donc, au cours de cette deuxième journée, nous avons débuté la journée avec le résumé du premier jour. Ensuite, nous avons eu la présentation de route Nangasha sur le centre kenyan de recherche. Et de son intervention, nous retenons que CAMRE, qui est le centre kenyan de recherche médicale, a 40 ans d'existence et a pour objectif de contribuer à l'amélioration de la santé publique dans le pays et de plus en plus dans la région de l'Afrique de l'Est. Et les missions sont essentiellement les missions de recherche et de coopération. Et Camri a 15 centres dispatchés dans tout le pays et 117 collaborateurs au niveau international et régional. Donc, dans ce contexte, Camri a été présenté comme un potentiel partenaire et un partenaire stratégique pour le réseau des laboratoires pour la confirmation de l'UCER de Buruli. Et à l'issue de cette présentation, il y a eu un certain nombre de questions concernant l'expertise que Camri pourrait apporter au réseau sur les autres maladies tropicales négligées à manifestation cutanée. Et il en ressortait de cet échange que Camri peut aider dans le diagnostic de thongose et du leishmania, essentiellement. Ensuite, nous avons eu l'allocution du directeur général de la santé publique du Ghana, qui a rappelé l'engagement du gouvernement à supporter les efforts dans la lutte contre les maladies tropicales négligées. La quatrième présentation a démarré la session sur l'intégration des autres maladies tropicales négligées à manifestation cutanée dans le réseau. Et lors de la première présentation faite par le docteur Sarah Yango, la vision du réseau BU-LABNET a été représentée, c'est-à-dire la vision est d'harmoniser les méthodes de diagnostic des maladies tropicales négligées à manifestation cutanée, en commençant par l'UCER de Buruli. Ensuite, l'intérêt de cette intégration a été également présenté lors de l'intervention du docteur Sarah. C'est que nous gagnerons dans cette intégration, vu qu'il y aura une réduction du nombre de réactifs, et cela rendrait accessibles les tests de confirmation de la plupart des maladies tropicales négligées à manifestation cutanée. Et le focus devait être fait sur le mycétome, la leishmaniose, le pian, la lèpre. Ensuite, nous avons eu droit à la présentation des évaluations des différents tests menés pour l'intégration de 4 autres maladies dans le réseau. Donc, la présentation a porté sur l'évaluation des tests pour le pian, la lèpre, la leishmaniose et le mycétome. Et de ces présentations, on retient que les kits d'extraction Génolise et Expedite donnaient de bons résultats, que ce soit pour l'UCER de Buruli, la lèpre, la leishmaniose, le pian, mais des résultats un peu satisfaisants pour les mycétomes en termes d'extraction, des kits d'extraction. En termes de mixte, de mélange réactionnel, le mélange universal mix solis biodine a donné également de bons résultats pour l'UCER de Buruli, la lèpre, la leishmaniose et le pian. et des résultats un peu moins satisfaisants pour les mycétomes. Au vu de ces résultats, l'intervention du docteur Kingsley sur les orientations sur le passage du réseau BU-LABNET vers le réseau des laboratoires pour la confirmation des maladies tropicales négligées à manifestation cutanée, a mentionné le fait que ce passage doit porter d'abord sur 4 autres maladies prioritaires en dehors de l'ulcère de Buruli, notamment le pian, la lèpre, la leishmaniose et les mycétomes, et qu'il faudrait prendre en compte les contextes spécifiques de chaque pays dans ce processus d'intégration. Il a aussi énuméré les étapes qu'on devrait suivre pour arriver à une bonne intégration, c'est-à-dire d'abord l'identification des laboratoires spécifiques pour chaque maladie, nouvelle maladie à intégrer, le fait aussi d'interagir avec les programmes nationaux de lutte contre ces différentes maladies, essentiellement. Ensuite, les termes de référence pour les travaux des différents groupes ont été présentés. Il y a eu 4 groupes qui ont été constitués. Un premier groupe qui devait faire un petit résumé sur les acquis du réseau actuel en termes d'harmonisation de procédures et en termes de prélèvement qui donnait les meilleurs résultats. Ensuite, un deuxième groupe, initialement le premier groupe qui devait travailler sur l'opérationnalisation du nouveau réseau. Le deuxième groupe qui devait travailler sur l'évaluation externe de la qualité. Et le 4e groupe sur la visibilité du réseau. Au terme des travaux de groupe, les présentations ont été faites groupe par groupe. Et après le résumé du groupe chargé de nous faire le point sur les acquis du réseau actuel en termes d'harmonisation de procédures, en termes d'échantillons donnant les meilleurs résultats, le premier groupe a présenté les résultats de son travail qui concernait l'opérationnalisation du nouveau réseau. Et de son travail, un organigramme a été proposé. Et de cet organigramme, on retient que la coordination sera toujours maintenue par le Centre Pasteur de Yaoundé. Et cette coordination se fera en collaboration avec des laboratoires satellites spécifiques pour chacune des maladies qui seront intégrées. Et ces laboratoires satellites spécifiques auront à interagir aussi bien avec la coordination qu'avec les laboratoires nationaux. Et le groupe 1 a également réfléchi sur les ressources supplémentaires qu'il faudrait pour ce nouveau réseau. Et effectivement, il y aura de nouvelles ressources dont on aura besoin et il y aura nécessité que l'OMS puisse combler ces besoins-là. Concernant le nombre de visites pour une meilleure coordination du réseau, le groupe 1 a proposé une visite par an, par labo, et si besoin, une deuxième visite. Pour ce qui concerne la gestion des données, il a été proposé que la même structuration qui existe pour l'ulcère de Buruli soit utilisée. Il a été également proposé qu'un panel d'experts soit impliqué dans la coordination Et ces experts seront choisis en fonction des maladies qui sont intégrées au nouveau réseau. Et il a été proposé également que pour la coordination du réseau, il y ait une réunion semestrielle. Le groupe 2 qui a travaillé sur l'évaluation externe de la qualité a proposé qu'il y ait un tour d'évaluation externe de qualité par maladie et que ces évaluations externes de la qualité soient sous la responsabilité des laboratoires satellites pour l'organisation et aussi que l'harmonisation des procédures soit sous la responsabilité de ces laboratoires satellites qui donneront les informations au centre Pasteur qui va continuer par assurer la coordination. Le groupe 3 a planché sur la visibilité du réseau et des travaux de groupe de ce groupe 3. Il ressort que le réseau actuel a un bon site internet, site web plutôt, et qui a été bien conçu, mais il y a besoin qu'il y ait un groupe de réflexion qui va mieux réfléchir sur la visibilité. Il va falloir également engager un chargé de communication qui aura pour tâche de créer des lignes directrices en termes de communication pour qu'il y ait une harmonisation des termes à communiquer sur ce réseau-là. Enfin, il y a eu discussion ouverte sur les prochaines étapes par le docteur Sandip et de ces discussions, il ressort qu'il faille qu'on change le nom actuel du réseau. Comment ça va se faire? Il va falloir qu'on y réfléchisse, que c'est la prochaine étape imminente qui doit être enclenchée. Pour ce qui concerne le logo, il y a eu proposition de 2 logos et un logo a été choisi par vote. Il y a eu également échange sur les points de vue des partenaires sur ce passage réseau BU-LABNET vers réseau des maladies tropicales négligées à manifestation cutanée. Pour les partenaires, c'est une bonne opportunité, mais il reste à clarifier les rôles et les responsabilités qu'auront les laboratoires satellites qui doivent être ajoutés à ce nouveau réseau. Aussi, on a échangé sur le processus de sélection des procédures opératoires et le processus d'intégration des laboratoires désireux. Sélection qui devrait se faire sur un certain nombre de critères, notamment la fonctionnalité des laboratoires et leur capacité à réaliser les tests d'harmonisation. C'est ainsi résumé les échanges que nous avons eus tout au long de cette journée qui a été consacrée essentiellement sur le passage BU-LABNET au passage MTD-LABNET. Je vous remercie.
That's a brilliant summary, Dr. Jacqueline. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
So that brings us to the end of the day. I think it's been a wonderful day. We've all contributed a little bit in pushing the discussions forward. And I'm sure we can have a restful evening. And there are a lot more surprises waiting for us this evening. So thank you very much. And tomorrow is another day. We're going to have exciting sessions. So we look forward to it. I want to say thank you to everyone who helped to make this day what it was. And for those that are online, thank you very much for attending. And we hope to see you tomorrow. Unfortunately, you can't join us for the cocktails, online participants. So after this, I think there are some housekeeping things that the Noguchi team would like to pass on. Dr. Ajwa, would you like to say anything, or Richard? Any housekeeping things that we need to know?
Before the housekeeping things, I would like to kindly ask the rapporteur of the working group to share the report, please. The report.
The summaries.
The summary of the discussion, the summary of what they have presented. If your table, what he presented, Michael and...
just send it to Sarah, please, and she'll just put them all together.
Okay. Hello, good evening. Just a few housekeeping administrative things. We have 2 buses ready downstairs that will take us around the University of Ghana to give you a tour of our very beautiful university. And we know a first group had a tour of the ARL that was illegal. So we are now going to give you a very legal tour of our ARL building. That's the Advanced Research Lab. And then from there, we all converge downstairs for the cocktail. So the 2 buses are ready. For those that have been to the ARL, can go with the first bus. And if you want to do the tour now of the ARL, we can also tell the second bus to wait, and then you do the tour. Then you go around the university. We have a quadrant with the University of Ghana logo, a very nice garden where a lot of visitors take pictures. So the buses will take you around and take you there for some picture taking whilst we set up for the cocktail. So by the time all the tours are done, the cocktail will be starting. So thank you and enjoy your tour.
You everybody, thank you and have a good evening.